finally have an amazing guest with us today, Khalid Iskandar.
Pleasure to be here.
How are you?
Pleasure to be here. Doing great, man. How's it going with you?
It's all good. It's a pleasure to have you on the show. So from your architecture background, I want to start with this first. Do you have a process when you want to sit with someone and like figure out, you know, what they like, or what's the process of figuring out what someone likes and going about that project?
I mean, it's either you click with the person or you don't, right? And in the first place, they come to you for that reason.
Okay.
So it's not like I kind of pick my clients, right?
Yeah, they look for something in you.
It's a word of mouth, or they see the work, right? And they connect with you on that level. So they might have seen they might have seen like a beautiful design that I've designed previously, or as a matter of fact, they might have seen something previously that has nothing to do with design, and they've connected with me on that level, right? So
and what's the story behind the Zkandar studio?
So we take on projects that pretty much requires us to. I would call it something like as branded architecture, right? So it wasn't only about designing the space itself with the walls or the colors or the materials as well, but it had a lot to do about the branding, and it had to do a lot about the psychology of the space. When we walk into the spaces, how do we feel? What do we smell? What do we see? What do we touch? What do we feel? And so on, right? So a lot of these things were heavily intertwined, and I only got to know or understood these things as we went, into projects and so on. So I just took on projects here and there, specifically in Lebanon, interior projects. And then luckily in 2017, I was very blessed to land a project here in Dubai, One Beat. It's a concept gym.
The concept gym, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, it's made of 2 studios. They're just, what do you call it? It was a boot camp and a spin studio with a juice bar and so on. So I was the lead design architect on that project, along with my sister and 2 other team members.
My next question is a bit far away from architecture.
Shoot.
What is jiu-jitsu?
What is jiu-jitsu? What is jiu-jitsu?
I mean, I know, but I'm asking you, what is it to you? Or what is jiu-jitsu without,
It was never about jiu-jitsu, like specifically that's the sport of jiu-jitsu. I just came across it, right? Ever since I was young, I was a big fan of UFC and early UFC, right? Mixed martial arts. And we would come across, we were fond of jiu-jitsu because it changed the mixed martial arts scene, right? It was the ground game. And ever since, like, I've been watching so much of it, but I've never fought. I've never even trained jiu-jitsu, right? Fast forward, 2013, I just decided to start competing. And I stepped up my game. I had to, get prepared for a real fight, which I never did. And so started training. 3 months in, I signed up for an amateur MMA fight in Lebanon. كانت بطولة لبنان. It was like a local championship. And I won that night 2 fights by submission. So, so it was through jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
And I had no idea that I was going to walk into the fight with that kind of game plan, because my coach was like, we just want to knock him out. I was like, yeah, knock him out. Next thing on the ground, and boom, I submit him. I was like, whoa.
What's that plan? Is like, the plan is to just knock
him out. He's like, he just came up to me. He's like, ليك خالد عرفت هيدي السبايدر سيلفا كيك هيك 1 2. He never told me this.
Oh yeah,
right?
I know this.
Yeah, he never told me about this. I was like, yeah, coach, but we never trained that. He's like, خلاص بس اعملها. Okay, punch و kick. I was like, all right, punch, kick. So just go through it. Try to punch, kick. I fall down. I trip, and the guy, tries to capitalize on that fall. But little that he knew that I was like an octopus, in my in my playground. And from that time I was like, you know what? There's something to it.
I felt that when I saw you practicing jiu-jitsu, I felt that was a very huge transitional phase for you.
Mm-hmm. What was funny about that is that I didn't have the confidence to walk into a fight, right? And when we were kids back in high school, it was quite different. we just jump on guys, you know, a fight would break out and whatever. But walking into a fight is extremely, extremely difficult from not only a physical point of view, but from a mental state too. Yeah. You've got to be extremely mentally prepared. And I think that was one of the biggest things that have given me a great insight on. And that's what I really, what pushed me or maybe attracted me more into the sport was a mental toughness.
And how did that help you for when you fought in 2017?
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah. I was so hungry. I think
that was the biggest competition you
Listen,
fought in.
I was so hungry. I just walked. I remember I walked in and I was telling the coach, I was like, listen, it's gold today, right? We're not gonna go any other side. Like I couldn't even picture myself losing. So that's the thing, and maybe because I was afraid so much of losing, right? And I built up so much nerve, and I was like, "What happens if I lose now? I can't lose." You know what? It just really felt like I've been preparing for such a long time. So I rushed back to the toilet, and I go like, "Yeah, one of those Rocky Balboa." Look myself in the mirror, and I was like, "Hey." You're gonna win, right? All right, that was hard. My breath, kind of like shook, and I was like, no, I'm just gonna win. Screamed it off, went back in, and man, I didn't even like warm up. I just like hit the pads for 5 minutes. Boom, adrenaline kicked in, and I felt super pumped. Walked in, man, I was just tunnel vision. I've never had this kind of tunnel vision in my life.
This guy's tall. You know, he's sitting down now, but this guy's tall. It's very intimidating when you get into a fight.
And that's the thing, man. Like I saw the other guy. So check this out. So my coach goes like, I was wearing a rash guard, right? And so you can fight with a rash guard on, or you can fight without, just topless. And he goes like, just before I hit the mats, he's like, listen, take off your rash guard. I was like, why would I do that? He's like, يلا بتخوفوا هلا. You just make him scared. I was like, why? He's like, man, just ripped up and give him the impression that you've been doing this for a while. And it worked. So the guy was wearing a shirt too. He was wearing basketball shorts. So I was like, damn. I already got this guy, khalas, I'm just staring him down. He's wearing basketball shorts. I'm doing all these assumptions. Take off my shirt, and he's like, oh, whoa, who is that kid? And I had no idea that kid has been training for almost like a year or a year and a half. I had no idea. I had no idea who my opponents were. So I was just a normal guy who just started training MMA for 3 months, and I just decided to fight. And yeah, man, and it's like everyone tries to explain that kind of tunnel vision when you're in a fight or when you're trying to compete, or when you're extremely focused. That was the first time in my entire life that I've ever experienced something as such. Like you won't hear anything around you. You would only see that person in front of you. That's it. I couldn't even hear my coach because that was my first time, right? And you kind of need some kind of experience to understand how to go through it. Manage your adrenaline levels, try to breathe, like pace yourself. And yeah, it was insane.
Sounds like a stressful experience.
It was so stressful.
Is that why you moved to TikTok?
So TikTok is now coming. Listen, I would have taken this as a career, to be honest. But we're a very pragmatic person. I was like, just any of those thoughts, like if I broke my leg, and it was a serious injury, I'm done. Right? And because I know, I've been watching a lot, and I've known a lot of fighters that have lost their careers just because of these things, right? Either amateur or professionals. And I was nowhere, near this kind of fight. So later on down the line, I understood that this wasn't my fight. That was never my fight. I was in it to just, I don't know, bring the best out of myself when I never knew that person existed, And I mean, I feel very blessed that we were privileged, to have completed our studies and so on. I have these degrees, and this is my backbone, right? And you've got other people around the world who have nothing to lose. And that's why they fight.
Yeah, that's the only option for them.
I didn't need it,
Yeah.
you know? And but I love it so much, but that wasn't my fight.
So this is why the next step, as I'm following your timeline correctly, the next step in your life was you do a lot of vlogging now.
Yeah.
And the TikTok,
Try to.
obviously. You try to. I mean, you like this vlog, where did it come from? Because I know we mentioned earlier, creative person, but suddenly at some point on your social media just blew up.
Is that true?
I would just
love
felt
to
like
know.
there was nothing.
Yeah.
There was nothing from Khalid Iskandar.
Yeah.
And then at some point, you're just vlogging your day. And it's like, I like the concept because it's like 1 minute, it's like 1 minute of your day. Sorry, it's 1 minute piece of content of
Yeah.
your whole day.
Yeah.
And just showing people and the cuts that you do quite really nice. What's the story?
You know,
behind
I would love to know, because you said something very interesting. I would love to know how it seemed to you, like, because you were aware of that transition.
There was nothing, and then suddenly you started putting these clips out, and it was like showing, like you would do different things throughout the day. So you either go get like a shawarma, or and then you'll go to like Raushi and
Alright,
like, and do some.
If you know about the shawarma, you've been watching.
No, it's like and yeah, there was points where you watch the guy like scoop the knefe, and you were like and you zoom in on the knefe, and you go out, and then suddenly you're on the road and you're driving, and you put like the music that you put music that is appropriate for the feeling of the video.
Yeah.
And you started doing a lot of these, and they started getting different, and you started putting subtitles, and you started cutting better with slow motion and fly feet and all these different types of things. And more and more you kind of understand, yes, okay, this is more like a fitness, lifestyle, positivity kind of thing. So that was one of the questions that I had, is like, what's the reason behind that? And
I've always told my friends about something that I've been trying to figure out for such a long time, and I guess we have similar conversations as well, of how every person, probably everyone in the room as well, has a similar conversation, is that I have a vision, and my vision was I have a dream, and is to induce a positive change in our societies, right? And I had no idea why I wrote it. I just put it out there. I just felt intuitively that I had to put it out there the way it was, right? Maybe it was catchy, maybe it was, it was attractive and so on. That's how it was. Years have passed.
you did nothing.
I did nothing. I did nothing. Can we curse, by the way?
We'll fix it later.
Because if I start cursing, no, I'm joking. So that started, and every time that I would kind of, do these small tweaks on the CVs and the resumes and so on, that sentence will remain the same. It was like a truth. It was the truth to me, but before I even knew it was the truth, right? And I had no idea how I was going to do that. Thinking I'd do it, in probably through architecture and so on. And down the line, I just got to a point where, you know what, we need to start. Let's get the creative out there. And it wasn't a long time ago. It started in 2017. Started with Omar Miski. What's up, bro? Omar Miski, where you at? And big thanks to this guy, man. He's just, this is where it all originally started. And we just came up with the idea, you know what, let's podcast. We decided to, you know what, let's just shoot a few podcasts, put them out there, just put it out there, but not out to the public. So we'll just shoot them, and as if, as a like a cover up, as if that it's online, and we just don't judge ourselves for what it is. We go on, and we start off our days with a beautiful high note. Wake up at 5 a.m. He comes and picks me up. Go to the gym, train, 7:30. We're done. Take a shower, meditate, and so on. Get back to the office by 8:30. Put in a quick talk. Put in a tripod, camera, talk a lot of shit, just talk and talk, you know, just talk. And 10 episodes. We taped 10 episodes, dude. 10 episodes.
Where nobody has seen anything.
Nobody has seen anything. We haven't seen anything. So that just like, you know, quickly, instantaneously eliminated all sorts of judgment. And yeah, we just put ourselves there and thinking that we were out there, but we weren't. Nobody knew what we were doing. Not even our close friends. So.
Without the pressure. Because
no
on
pressure.
On your profile, it's episode 18.
Which one?
That's the first one. Officially.
Yeah, 100%.
So
it was
for some reason,
100%.
The first 17 episodes are just like,
100%.
where are those?
So yeah, 100%. So what happened was the first 10 episodes, we taped not less than 45 minutes for every episode.
Wow, okay.
And they never went out, by the way. We still have them. They never went out. And we just go back to his office after that, you know, a beautiful start of the day, have a quick talk, coffee, and by like 8:30, 9 sharp, we're out of there. Everyone is on his way. And from that point, we're like, you know what? 10 episodes in, you know, then we started shooting those episodes inside the gym. We're just capturing, you know, those nice movements and so on. And we're like, you know what? This is the show. Why don't we revolve the entire, you know, thing around what we are actually doing? And so it started building off traction because people loved the vibes. You know, we're just he come pick me up, and he's a great artist too, great mastermind, man. He's just crazy. So just like 5:30 a.m. Just imagine that. Picking me up, we'll throw in some instrumentals, and he's already like, you know, dropping some bars. He's already rapping, I'm singing, and boom, 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 and we're inside the gym, high note, and very energetic, you know, and that was very attractive to a lot of people who actually needed it, and we had no idea that it was attractive to people, right? I'm specifically talking about those energy levels, right? And but we kind of knew what we like, you know, maybe the skill that we had at that point. It was just being out and about confidently, building that confidence throughout the journey, right? And it just happened. And it started happening.
Process is very different.
And then we just started naming them. You know, we're like, you know what? Screw it. Nothing's perfect. If you're going to be waiting for that point where, yeah, let's just figure out about the name, the brand, the logo, the identity, blah, blah, the space, the equipment, blah, blah. And it just becomes so overwhelming. And you just go like, you know what? Screw it. I'm just going to go back to my bedroom.
Analysis paralysis.
Yeah, exactly. So we just threw it out there, and it was an entire experiment till this day.
No, I like it. I like that you did 10 episodes. We actually did one pilot only.
One.
Which we never posted.
Interesting.
And then we started posting for
I'd love to see that.
I don't think you want to see that.
No.
There's a printer at the back of the guest, so that's.
We had a nice tree. It was like, you know, it was overtaken out of that.
Yeah.
We had music in the background.
But,
So it was
I
funny.
mean, the process was really good. So yeah, okay. Quickly, what's up with the accents, man? You do a lot of different accents.
Somehow, more or less, trying.
Can
Trying
you,
to put in.
What accents do you do? You do Egyptian, you do Indian.
Listen, man, it's been going on for a while. I mean, it's part of the creative process as well. So I've managed to find a way to get playful with that. And as a creative, you could relate to that as well too. It's just that it makes you feel lighter. It makes you feel younger, and it's just more joyful, right? You get to discover so many things about yourself, and again, like, you know, having no judgment about anything that you do, and blocking all those voices around you, not caring about shit, people's opinions and what it has to do with it. 2 times. Three. So it's good that I'm just sticking to the word shit. So yeah, that's 4 for
4
you.
times. It's 4 times. Yeah. So can you give us a bit of some? Can you give us some samples of your accents?
I don't know, like it was weird, man. It's like weird where how those characters come through. And boss, I just don't know. Okay, it just comes out. عرفت ازاي؟ So guys, we have to open our minds, open our eyes. بص هنا في الكاميرز. Okay, is it loud? It's okay. ده اسمه ايه؟
أليكس.
أليكسوس؟
مثل الكسندرية.
ايوه اوكي.
فبص كده just talking about positivities every days. ايوه دخلت التيك توك. دي حاجة جامدة قوي. انا ما عرفتش كان في كده بحر a sea of wonderful things. filters وحاجات كويسة and hearings دلوقتي you have to check this out. ما تخش تيك توك ليه. ايوه خشيت كده في الميكسز وكنت بتكلم عن حاجات كتيرة. I just don't know where I picked up the accents from. ايه بقى كمان في ايه يا علي. انت لاحظت الصوت؟ ما اعرفش الصوت فيه جاي.
It's good, it's very good. You do Raju also, a character called Raju, and then you have what other Arabic accents do you do?
السلام عليكم شباب. How are you? وياكم سلوم سنيكر. زين ترى يعني شوف بودكاستنج يا اخي it's a struggle. ها بس بقول لك شيء يا اخي صراحه الجو حلوني. ها لازم فيشل اكسبريشن. يشوفونه في الكاميرا ولا ما يشوفونه؟
Yes.
You know, this is the first time that I kind of do any kind of personification. Is that what I call it? Impressions or personifications? What's the difference between that?
Impersonification is something else.
Impersonification.
That's something else.
Impersonification.
What do you think of the name Nobody's Famous?
I love it. I love it, man.
What does it mean to
Just
you?
stopping there. I just love it.
That's it.
Get out of here.
You have no disputes.
Find your way. I find my way and just going.
Nothing else other than that.
No, I guess, you know, just things like that, or statements as such, puts everybody in perspective, especially nowadays, right? Because everyone gets on a social media platform, and all of a sudden, yeah, I got a few followers, I'm famous, or I'm just trying to build that kind of following and so on. And even if you get to that following, what are you? And who are you anyways? Right? So people kind of forget what their purpose in life is. I read something beautiful the other day, and it said, the purpose of life is to discover your gift. And the meaning of life is to give it away.
Wow. That's pretty impactful, by the way.
It is, man. And so if you had an Instagram
Where'd you read
page.
this?
Where do you read this? يا ريال جيب يا اخي جيب. ها؟ كلم راجو خليني برنجت. ها سلم سنيكر. Not bringing anything, huh? Not giving you my secret, sir. So yeah, I just forgot, man. I forgot to a point that I had to bring in 2 characters. But I mean, I guess, you know, this is a big part of what I do too, is that I've always wanted to, you know, impact people. I aspire to inspire people very positively, right? And I kind of have this passion to help people discover their inner greatness, because I'm on the path of you know, doing this to myself too, and I've discovered a lot of things as we go. So that's the thing, like everything that you are, you know, on whether you're on social media on board or not. So you might die now, you know, you might pass away tomorrow, whatever it is. How are you going to leave this world? What are people going to, you know, talk about you? What are you gonna? What kind of legacy are you trying to leave behind, right? And this to me was extremely, like it was a very big perspective for me to look at. So yeah.
Final question. We've reached the end of the show.
Oh come on, man! We're just getting started, bro.
I wish we could spend more time.
Shoot.
Do you have any questions for me?
How come you're not doing this on a regular? How come isn't this your full time?
Wow, I think Alex was waiting for this question.
Yeah,
he was
I'm sure
waiting
he is,
for the guest to ask this question.
He's been jumping on it. Beautiful. No, I'd like to hear it live and direct to your eardrums. Let's go.
Oh my God. Why am I not doing this full time? Wow, such an impactful question. I mean, the thing is that, you know, when you have other things in your life, that are holding you back, like financial difficulties, the location that you're in, or different aspirations, or even society that have a certain expectation of you to do something, like you have to have a job, you have to have this, you have to have this. I'm not saying that all of these things restrict me, but there are things that do. And
You just said that.
what's that?
You just stated all these things that you just stated were the things that are
Yeah.
restricting you. So
They do. They do.
you can't pretty much contradict yourself in the same sentence. That's the
no,
thing, man.
I do.
These are the things that kind of hold us back from doing what we do.
I completely agree. And the thing is, that's the truth of the matter. And the way I see it, it's only a matter of time.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, there are things that restrict me, and this is the things that people go through. But it's just a matter of time that this becomes the only thing. It's just through perseverance and hard work. And I mentioned this many times before in the show. It's all about just doing it and continuing. So that would be my answer. It's just a matter of time.
You've kind of managed to throw in or provided a platform for all these young people to share their, to give them an opportunity to raise their voices, or to be outspoken, to share their knowledge, their inspiration, their talent whatsoever. And you, my man, have got a lot of that built into you as well. So you've got the charisma, you've got the presence, you've got the beautiful voice as well on the microphone. I don't even have a voice, so it's just great, man. It's just really great to find people as such. And what is that? Is that the end of the time? Yeah.
In the monologue.
So it's just great, to see you come that far and try to provide such an inspirational platform. As such, it starts with simple steps, but then yet again, these are the simple steps that you will never ever forget.
Thank you so much, Khaled.
Man,
That's
appreciate it.
very kind and appreciative words. I really thank you for ending it in such a nice note. This is the part where we do the outro. And,
Nice. Is there an outro?
So there's an outro.
Musical instrument or something?
No, well, it's coming soon. It's coming soon.
Drop a bar. Yeah.
Any last words? Nothing?
Any last words?
Don't go on a monologue هلا خلص.
ما في monologue.
We're
خلص
done.
ما في monologue. Going, No last words, man. I'm very, very thankful for this opportunity. Thank you so much. Thanks so much, everyone, for your time and your efforts. And I would love to get back here and throw in another session.
For sure.
And yeah, thank you so much, man.
Thank
Appreciate
you so much,
it, bro.
Khaled. That was the Nobody's Famous podcast. You can find us on Anghami, Stitcher, SoundCloud. You can watch us on YouTube, and you can listen to us while driving. Don't watch us while driving. And we'll be with you all the way. Peace.